All right, it's the UFC 273 preview. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, ho.
What's up, homie?
I was finishing a little sandwich over here. Hang on.
A little sandwich.
Hang on.
That's it. Nothing like starting the show like with a mouthful.
Hang on. I got to finish the sandwich before PB and J. I got to finish this before we start the show.
Dollar store jelly beans.
Ooh, fancy.
There's nothing worse than watermelon jelly bean. Watermelon jelly bean is disgusting.
Strongly disagree. There's nothing worse than black licorice jelly bean. Those are the worst.
No, man. Those are good, man.
They're not very good, but watermelon sucks.
Black licorice, man. Black jelly beans are the best, man.
I like fake watermelon. I like fake watermelon flavor. You know that watermelon flavor, that fake watermelon flavor? You ever tasted a watermelon that tastes anything like that? No.
Nope.
You ever tasted a cherry that tastes anything like that fake cherry flavor?
Watermelon gum.
No.
Watermelon gum. They're the bubble there. You know that's
hubba bubba, man.
Also.
Where do we get these things from?
The best.
Where does this come from? The flavors. What? Yeah, the fake flavors. Like if you say cherry flavor, everybody knows what that tastes like, right? Be it in a candy, in a drink, in a whatever. A cherry flavor doesn't taste like a cherry. A watermelon flavor doesn't taste like a watermelon. Why did they decide, like, this red is cherry, this, is watermelon, this is orange? Like, orange doesn't really taste like an orange, although I would say that fake orange flavor is the closest fake flavor to the real fruit of orange. Fake lemon
or fake lime is always good.
Yeah, but does it taste like a lemon or a lime? Not really.
They just make it sweeter, man. They make it sweeter so you enjoy it. Listen,
where does this come from,
tell you something.
It seems arbitrary.
Look, back in the days when I was working in the wine industry, they used to develop wines. There was a certain wine from Australia. I won't mention the name, but a certain wine from Australia that was one of the biggest sellers here in Quebec. They had a red bottle and they had a white bottle. What these guys did is that they took wine and then they introduced artificial flavors and smells in the wine. Yeah. So what they did is they did a scientific study that came out with the best flavors and the best smells for people. So whatever the greatest number was, they would take that smell and that flavor, they would put it in their wine so that the majority of people tasting that wine would love it. And it actually worked because it was always off the shelf.
I was bored by that story as soon as you started it. And, I'm disappointed that I let you finish it. I was thinking about interrupting you and being like, yeah, this boring story. Next, AJ. And then, now I get to the end of the story, and I regret not interrupting you, and I regret wasting the time of myself and everybody watching the show with that story, that boring, pointless story.
So let me get this.
Hey, here's my recollection of your story. Here's my recollection of your story, AJ.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Freddie. Oh, there's some people, and we tested what flavors they like, and then we put that flavor in the wine, and by golly, they like that wine. What kind of story is that?
Dude, do you understand what I'm saying? You don't drink wine, so you're not a wine connoisseur. You're a Kool-Aid, right?
Hang on,
thanks,
AJ and Fred. What did Fred say? Fred was chopping out. Fred, what did you say? AJ saying you're on his side. I don't get it.
I said for once it's a story that made sense.
Well, it makes sense,
thank you,
but
Freddie.
I mean, it was barely a story worth telling at this point.
Wasn't it good, Freddie? Don't you want to know the name of the wine now? That's what it comes down to.
I think my anecdote about the fake flavors.
What? Close. There was an animal involved, but it wasn't a kangaroo. Let's put it this way. It had a very cool logo.
I don't get it.
I can't say it, dude. I want to get sued, man.
I don't know
what
want
Ringside Report to be like. Anyways,
I don't
all
even
it comes
know.
down to is that people can create a product that the mass love, and wine is one of them that these people did.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how cherry-flavored candy doesn't taste like any kind of cherry. Watermelon-flavored candy doesn't taste like any kind of watermelon. Lemon-flavored candy.
Right?
Green apple. What made them decide green apple?
Do you know how they make orange cake? They basically shred the peel of the orange. They don't even use the middle part of the orange. So you're basically like flavoring your cake with the peel.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like that, man.
But it's not like that because that's actually coming from the
Freddie's
fruit,
on my side, Dave.
What? I think you guys
That's
are
it,
missing
man.
the
I
point
agree
I'm
with
trying
Freddie.
to make. My point is there's no such thing as a blue raspberry, yet that's a flavor that everybody accepts as a thing. Everybody accepts blue raspberry.
Isn't that like a myrrh? Isn't that like a myrrh?
That's a blackberry.
They call in French.
What the hell's a myrrh? A what?
Oh, it's like a blackberry. It's not a blue raspberry. There's raspberries. They're red. There's no such thing as a blue raspberry, as far as I know. All right? But that's a flavor that everybody's accepting. Green apple tastes nothing like apple. I call bullshit on the flavor industry, okay?
Ooh, what about the A&W's, not real meat kind of stuff?
I don't want to eat that. I'm not interested in eating that, but that's a different story altogether.
Don't beat the meat, Dave. Don't
I think
beat
Fred
the meat.
is
What happened
frozen.
to Freddie?
I think he froze. I don't think he's that
In a
happy.
perfect pose, man.
I think something happened.
That should be a poster right there, man.
Yeah, oops.
What
What
yeah,
happened?
there's Freddie. Like now, Freddie changed clothes, man. Look at this
Ooh.
Freddie go. There's Dave, man. You got him so upset. He hung up, man.
I don't know.
And first of all,
I think
saw
Fred
a
got
comment
bored.
coming in. What are you talking about? He was actually on my side. He was like, AJ was totally right, man. And yes, I was in the wine industry at one point. And more. But anyways, I thought it was a great story, Dave. I don't give a rat's ass what you think, man. But I do agree with you. Some colors don't make sense. My favorite color of all, which doesn't taste anything like it, but I love eating it, is banana flavor. Yellow. Nothing close to banana, but I love it, man.
Yeah, well, that's another one, right? None of these flavors actually taste like the fruit. That's my point. Who decided, like, this will be banana? You know, it's like, well, why is that banana? Why is that cherry? Doesn't make sense. But I don't dislike the flavors. I'm just saying, never tasted a cherry that tasted that good. Cherries are all right, but like a cherry starburst, I don't know, man. It's pretty good.
Oof.
I
I like the watermelon flavor, like Freddie was saying, man. Hubba Bubba watermelon is like one of the best.
Yeah, I like that. Freddie was saying he didn't like watermelon.
Oh, he didn't? Oh.
Yeah. I'm glad you pay attention to what we're saying here, AJ. That was the whole thing. That's how we got into this whole conversation. Because Fred was saying that the watermelon jelly beans are the worst. He didn't like those.
The jelly beans.
That's how we got into
Hubba
this.
Bubba he liked.
All right. Can we talk about the UFC here? UFC 273 coming
What flavor
up
do you
on
want to talk about?
Saturday.
What flavor, man? It's going to be crazy.
Fight flavor? Is that a thing?
The taste of blood.
The
synthetic.
flavor of
Taste of
fights?
cherry.
I don't think it does.
Who was the guy that used to lick his blood? Was that I was BJ Penn, I think.
I mean, he did that one time.
Okay.
I think that was somebody else's blood too. He was licking, wasn't it?
You
Diego
don't wanna do
Sanchez.
that now, man. Yeah, I remember. I thought he did it a few times.
You didn't want to do that then, really. But they're testing. Fred will be
Man,
back.
you know what?
Fred is experiencing technical difficulties. He was experiencing the difficulties before we started, and it turns out they are still here. The difficulties. Things are
It's always
difficult,
difficult, man.
AJ. Things
It
are
started
hard.
off with a watermelon flavor, and boom, 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 and here we are, man. And listen, it's been a tough week. I don't know about you, man, but like Freddie was saying, I'm tired. I'm beaten up. I went back to jiu-jitsu. I took a beating. Man, I'm just physically tired. The rain. I don't know, man. We need some sun in the city. Angelo knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's
we need some mojo rising, man.
What? I don't know what that means. You're
I
saying
know
a lot
you
of
wouldn't know
stuff
what that
that's
means.
confusing me tonight. I don't know what the hell you're
Of
talking
course,
about.
man. You're not from that. You don't know mojo rising?
No.
Of course not.
Are you going to explain it, or are we just going to move on?
No, we'll just move on. I want you to search it, man.
I'm not going to.
Mojo Rising, man. Mr. Mojo Rising.
I know Mojo Rowley. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Freddie. I could kind of see Freddie.
Fred, are you back?
Freddie, wait, before you say anything. Freddie,
Yeah.
When I say Mr. Mojo Rising, what does it remind you of?
No clue.
on, Freddie. Mr. Mojo, Rising. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It sounds like something I'll tell my girlfriend before I want to get lucky,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, my God.
Nice, man. You're on the right track, bud. You're on the right track.
What are you talking about, AJ?
Jim Morrison, man. How would you know about Jim Morrison? Dude, you weren't even born when he was around.
No, and you were?
Well, who hasn't?
Were
Well,
you?
wasn't around.
How old are you? What the hell?
Listen, man. Great musician. Great story, man.
He died in 1971, so AJ was born probably.
Wow.
Freddie, I was just telling Dave, man, this week has been tough, man. Everybody's fatigued and whatnot. It must be the weather, man. Let's hope 273 is going to be a good card.
Yeah.
Should be.
I hope so, man. It should be, man. We're watching it at Dave's. It's going to be awesome.
Maybe.
If we don't get a little surprise.
Everything is a maybe at this point. And, yeah, it's been tough for everybody. Things are tricky.
Soda might come.
Yeah, soda. 7. I promised the widow Mantle I'd name her 7. Yeah, so if I have a daughter, today or tomorrow, no watch along Saturday, AJ, okay? Also, if you don't get that Ric Flair figure from Rolando, like I told you, man, if you don't get that Ric Flair figure from Rolando, I'm not letting you in my house on Saturday.
No, I actually got
a
message. Listen, man, what do you think I am, man? Like some collector? Listen, Rolando sent me a text. He basically said, listen, tell Dave that I'm looking for that whatever it is. Yeah. When I find it, I'll get it to him. So he's looking for it. What do you want me to do, man? Like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that's cool. There's a guy in this chat, Rolando, who had a Ric Flair action figure from WCW wanted to give to me. And AJ knows him. You know this guy, AJ Rolando?
Yes, I know Rolando from the days past in the Point. He's an awesome guy. Rolando is a great guy, man. He's a preacher, I guess. You want to call him a preacher? He's a super nice guy. He used to listen to us on TSN. Man, this guy is cool. Super nice guy. I just don't know where Rolando lives. He lives somewhere in the Point.
Well, that's not too far. So go find him and get that Ric Flair. Yeah, Rolando's a member of the team, just like Angelo Contagonis. What's up, Angelo? Yeah, so go find Rolando and get that Ric Flair figure for me, AJ. Or else.
Super chat.
Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. He says, checking in to see if Dave is a new papa. Nope. Still an old dad. Still just an old dad. My son will be 5 in June.
He's still got the new band.
My daughter is coming soon, probably in the next week. Hopefully soon. I'm ready. At this point, we're all ready, and we're just waiting. And I just want her to come out healthy and happy.
And that's the end of Dave, man. Dave's gonna have to change his ways, and he's gonna have to.
Yeah, things might change here on the Ringside Report Network a little bit.
No more swearing. No more none of this.
Why would
do that, man?
I mean, I'm already a father, AJ. I'm already taking care of a young child, so. I don't know if it would change that much. I think things will be, just more hectic, but I don't think it's going to, I'm not going to clean up my act. My act has already been cleaned up, AJ. You remember me before my son. It was a different guy.
Yeah, that I could say, man.
Right.
There was a lot more KFC involved, too. But, you know what? I hope everything works out, man.
It really wasn't. We had KFC one time together, and you brought it over. I don't know what you're talking about. You just say weird things all the time, AJ. You just have these non sequiturs that go nowhere and they make no sense.
AJ would be a good rapper because he just thinks of things, and AJ needs to learn how to rap.
Yeah,
talk about KFC.
I did. I just started singing Mr. Mojo Rising. Forget it, man. It won't work. I was singing Mr. Mojo Rising, man, and no one got it. I thought you would get it, Freddie, but it didn't work.
AJ, you should rap. I would write a rap for AJ to do, but I know he would botch it all up. He wouldn't be able to do it.
So then, listen, man, you write it. If it's for Ringside, I'm gonna do it. You know me, man. I'm game.
I know you. I know you all too well.
I'll be game, man. I'll do it, man.
Oh, sometimes I wish I didn't, but
All
right.
Listen, if you have the baby and you're in the hospital,
What? What are you guys saying? Hold on. Mojo Rising is the name of an album?
Yeah. From the Doors.
Exactly. Way to go, Freddie.
Nice timely reference there, AJ. Real current. You're really staying up to date with what's happening.
Hey, listen, man. Who doesn't like Jim Morrison?
I mean,
man?
the Doors are great.
Maybe
man.
one guy.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
there
that
you
they're
go,
bad.
Freddie. Thank you.
I
There
got
you
no
go.
I got
There
no
you go, man.
disrespect. I think they're all fine. You know, they
There
made
you
some
go, man.
good songs. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying it's kind of an obscure reference that I don't know how you expected me to get. Fred didn't even get it, you know? And Fred gets more things that you say than I do. You know what I mean? Fred had to Google it. Fred understands you way better than I do. I've come to that conclusion. Fred seems to get what you say more than I get what you say. We're too far apart, AJ. It's too confusing.
Doug got it, man.
I almost
Doug
want to
got
go
it. I
to
can
the
see online.
conspiracy angle and ask AJ if Jim Morrison's dad was a CIA guy, but I think we should stick to
What's
MMA.
that? CIA, did you say?
What?
His father might have been the CIA.
Angelo
Never know,
Contagones has renewed his membership and a member now for 15 months. Thank you, Angelo. And he's got a question for, I think, me. How did you give AJ a job with you? Well,
It was either me or Rogan, man.
it's Johnny
chose
North's
Dave.
fault. I just blame Johnny North. You know?
I think
AJ,
it's
you
a
wanna
little bit
blame
my
someone.
fault because when I had Susie,
Yeah.
AJ replaced me, and that's when AJ became like a regular.
But he was supposed
It's
to go
true,
away,
actually.
Fred. We were supposed to get rid of him when you came back. He was just a replacement.
Yeah, but
he
he's
was
great.
he was a substitute Fred, and then when you came back, he was
But
supposed to
he's
go
great.
away. It was supposed to remain me and you, but then somehow we did one show with all three of us. Just as a, it was mostly as a thank you to AJ. I was like, oh, I'll give him one more show because he likes it. It was a thank you to AJ, and then Johnny North and Wally Byrne out in Ireland. They were like, oh, this guy, it was nice to hear the three of you together. Maybe you do it more often. And I was like, well, maybe. And then I was like, AJ, would you want to come on every week? And you're like, yeah, of course I want to come on every week. I was like, all right. I guess.
It was good times,
And
man.
it was against my better judgment. I was like, I don't know. If AJ comes on the show, it's going to be a total mess. We'll never talk about MMA. It'll be all over the place, and it'll be just a total joke of the show. And you know what? I was right. I was completely right, because we're 20 minutes into the show. We've talked about nothing, and we haven't talked
It's like
about any
Seinfeld, man.
fights, and it's all your
Hey,
fault, AJ.
wait. Listen, man, you can blame me, but in the end, man, it was the right move. You know that. But listen, we had
Fred,
good
what?
times until Sam.
Fred thinks it was, so I'll agree with Fred.
Of course, man. We're three buddies. If everybody wants to, like all jokes aside, we're all friends, man. We're all like brothers from another mother, including Johnny and our brother from overseas, Wally. That was a big part of me becoming part of the show. It's true, man. Listen, man, it's been a long time now. When you think about it, when I originally used to call in and get mad at you guys, I'd be like, "Oh man, what are these guys talking about? I gotta call in." A few
You
times
never
I got
called in.
listen, man.
You texted me. You would
Oh,
text me
texted,
during
that's
the
right.
show,
Yeah,
and I would read
That's
your
right.
text on the air.
I mean, you were under
then I got-
60 back then, also.
And then one time I was listening to you guys, and I don't know what the hell happened. I was riding my bike, and I got stopped by the cops. Remember
Yeah.
that time?
Yeah.
I got
I
stopped
remember.
by the cops.
That was before you were on the show, right? You got stopped by the cops because you were listening to us and texting at the same time, like you were texting and biking.
Yep. I was texting and biking. I had a pretty cool contraption to watch everything, man. And
Super chat.
yeah, it was.
Did you get a
It was,
ticket for
that's
that?
how it all started, man. What? Yeah, I got a ticket. I think it was like $40-something at the time. And I was telling the cop, like, "Are you serious? Do you know who I am?" He's like, "Who? It doesn't matter."
And you were
I'm
nobody
AJ.
at the time, and now look at you,
No, I wasn't nobody,
famous
man.
AJ, so famous.
Ah,
Doug Hepburn
I
dropped a
lost my
super
tooth.
chat. Doug says,
Man.
"AJ, a star was born. What a star you've become, AJ. Superstar AJ, Hollywood AJ."
Hey, listen, man.
AJ should
Hollywood
be in some
AJ.
reality show. Some type of reality show needs to hire AJ.
Yeah.
Listen, Harvey Keitel said that to me, actually.
You know what the name
He's
of the
like,
show
"I'm
is?
telling you."
You know what the name of the show
What?
is? Poor Lucy.
Oh, Lucy,
Yeah,
Poor-
she should
poor
get
I'm
on.
home. Hey, listen, man.
That's the title of
Listen,
your reality show. Poor Lucy.
Dave, Harvey Keitel, man. Harvey, he's 80 years old now. Harvey actually told me, he goes, listen, AJ, he calls me AJ, by the way. He's like, AJ, listen, man, did you ever think about a reality show? I'm like, get the hell out of here. I don't watch that shit, man. I don't know. No. I started watching 90 Day Fiancé because of Johnny and Dave. And then I got hooked on that stupid show. I watch that show all the time. I'm up to, you name it, I know everything. Big Ed, you name it, man. I know everybody on 90 Day Fiancé.
You name it.
Yeah, man.
You name it.
So, yes, a Hollywood legend, Harvey Keitel, said, AJ.
Yeah. So he didn't offer you a deal, though.
Well, he did, man. I don't go that way, man. I was happy to talk with him, and
you don't go that way. What did he offer you?
Well, I don't go that way, like in the sense of like I don't buy out, man. AJ don't buy out. I don't want to take advantage of anyone, and I had a good time with the guy, man. Talking about stories, this and that. That's what I like. The best part of meeting a Hollywood actor such as Keitel was not the fact of his money, and I almost smashed his car and all that kind of stuff. It was really like, the conversations, and he's a cool guy, man. I like that. I'm a Ringside Report guy,
man. You're
the
same
this
age
is where
group,
we are.
so I feel you guys should be close.
He just turned 80, man. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're closer in age to him than you are to some people on the show, so, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you motherfuckers.
Oh, God. All right, can we do the thing about the fights?
What's our show about? What are we talking about?
We talk about MMA sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sometimes.
We're going to do a watch-along for the pay-per-view on Saturday, and we'll talk about fights and also Fred snacks and, whatever else is happening. Kind of weed Fred got at the SQDC. You know what I mean? It's always a good time. Got anything good lately, Fred?
Yeah, but it's not from the SQDC.
Oh, okay. Don't say that, Fred. Maybe not a good idea to say that. All right. Ooh, I love it. Okay. AJ, before we get to 273, no, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to let you just run wild.
What?
I was going to say,
it.
I know you had a list of topics in MMA, random tidbits that you wanted to discuss, and I was like, maybe throw a couple out now that we could get to. But you know what? Wait till the end of the show. If we have time, we'll revisit it. I don't want to do that now, because if we start that now, it'll take forever, and you'll go on and on about Connor getting charges that won't stick, and it'll community service. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. Got to give it to him. I've seen the show before. You know what I mean?
You got to give it to him.
There you go. Thank you. Volkanovski versus Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie, is the main event. All right.
I saw a crazy stat the other day that I don't remember exactly, but Chan Sung Jung has been like in a bunch of 5-round fights in a row. If you look at all his fights recently, they're all 5-rounders.
All right.
Even though he's not a champion.
I mean, he's been
always
fighting
in the main event.
He's been fighting as a top 5, top 10 guy in the division for most of his career in the UFC, for like 10 years. He's a top-level featherweight, has been his whole career, but has never won the big one. Had a title shot against Jose Aldo, lost that one. Did well, but lost that. Then he had to go for military service. He left the sport for like 4 years. Came back and still was one of the best in the world. Since he came back from military service, he was 4-2 in the UFC. Wins over Renato Moicano and Frankie Edgar. Just beat Dan Ige in June. But he also got knocked out by Yair Rodriguez, and he lost a decision to Brian Ortega. And that's what I see as the most glaring when I look at the record of the Korean Zombie, is that he has lost big fights. When it comes down to it, he's good, but he's not super elite. At least he hasn't shown himself to be championship level. And Alexander Volkanovski, I mean, the guy is 23-1, undefeated in the UFC. Wins over Holloway, Ortega, Aldo, Mendez. I mean, I just think that they're at different levels, and I'm kind of wondering who was unavailable that Korean Zombie got this fight. Was it Max Holloway? Was Holloway supposed to get
Max
this
Holloway.
fight? Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just not that hyped about the main event because I don't really see Korean Zombie on the level of Alexander Volkanovski. I think Korean Zombie is a good fighter. He's a fun fighter to watch. He's got a good chin for the most part, but Volkanovski hasn't really finished a lot of people. Last guy he finished was Chad Mendes. I mean, he wins a lot of decisions, so I see it kind of going the same way. I don't know if he's going to put the Korean Zombie away, but I don't see the Korean Zombie being able to touch Volkanovski. I think the movement will be too good. I think Volkanovski will touch Zombie up, do what he needs to do, and win a 5-round decision. And I'm just not that excited for it because I just don't see... Like, this doesn't really do much for Volkanovski's legacy other than add another title defense to his record. There's a lack of contenders at featherweight right now. Who's out there at 145? This is all they have? Like, I'm not trying to disrespect.
Nobody has really.
Like, I got no disrespect for the Korean Zombie, but, you know, he's kind of a journeyman fighter type of thing, you know? I don't know.
Yes and no.
He's a good journeyman.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the odds are better than, better than the odds that are suggesting on paper. I mean, this guy has a legitimate chance. I mean, he has all the tools to be able to get him to a victory. I mean, he's got everything, man, from reach, height advantage. He's got the experience. He's gone, like Freddie said, he's gone the distance many, many times. He knows what it takes to get there. And you're right about one thing. When you look at Alexander, the guy goes the distance. He's got 11 wins by KO, TKO out of 23 fights. So you know that you're not going to get a KO or a TKO in this fight with the Korean Zombie. Korean Zombie, man, this guy is great cardio, man, great striking. He has everything to go the distance. But does he have enough to beat a guy like Volkanovski? I don't think so. But, he's a betting favorite, man, but anything could happen, But it has to be lucky.
You said that Volkanovski wouldn't get hit. I tend to disagree. I expect it's going to be a bit of a slobber knocker. Both guys are going to connect. But I do think that Volkanovski will connect more and will be doing the more damage. Chan Sung Jung, he's very exciting, but he takes a lot of damage also. And Volkanovski, he's more technical, so I feel that's going to make the difference, where Volkanovski will get hit a little bit, but he'll be hitting a lot more. And I feel he's more technical, so I think he's going to control the pace, the action. But, yeah, look, it's not the greatest pay-per-view main event, championship fight. It's still fun, man. The Korean Zombie's a fun fighter to watch. I don't expect him to win. I got Volkanovski probably by decision because Chan Sung Jung is very tough. But yeah, I don't see it going any other way than Volkanovski getting his hand raised.
I think for me it's a combination of things. I'm not a huge fan of Volkanovski's style. I find him kind of boring to watch. Like, he's very good, but I don't get really excited for a Volkanovski fight. There's nothing he does that's that enticing. Like, he doesn't really talk trash. You know what I mean? He's pretty nice and kind of bland, and his fighting style is the same. He wins decisions. He moves around a lot. He kind of gets points, and, And, yeah, Fred, I think that the Korean Zombie will probably hit Volkanovski. I mean, they're going to fight for 25 minutes. I think, Volkanovski will get hit once or twice, but he'll just hit Korean Zombie more, and that style to me is kind of, It's just not that exciting. The lighter weight class guys that just kind of dance around and score points, it's cool, and it's, very impressive to watch. I can't do it, but it's not that pleasing to the eye all the time, and I find Volkanovski fights kind of boring to begin with, and then when you put in an opponent here who's plus 500, the underdog, it's hard for me to get hyped. If this were Max Holloway, I think I would feel maybe a little more excited, but not not that much. Like, I think
I mean, he lost
the
twice
division.
to Volkanovski.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't know. I think the division needs some new blood. I think
It
we
needs
need the guys
Tug
like.
Nasty. That's what it needs.
Isn't he? Is he a featherweight?
I think so.
Oh yeah, he's number 9. Yeah, I think you're right. It needs Thug Nasty. It needs Arnold Allen. It needs Movsar Evloev. Like, there are guys in this division that are really impressive. They're just not getting the shots.
New blood.
Yeah, it needs some new blood, and it needs it big time. This should be the year to really push guys like Bryce Mitchell, Movsar Evloev, and Arnold Allen into some big fights and big position. Arnold Allen just beat somebody impressive, right? He just beat, what's his name, Hooker, right?
Last week.
A couple weeks ago,
2
right?
weeks
That
ago.
was a big one. So he's getting himself into the position to possibly fight for a title. Oh, he just got to go deal with a child. Look at him. He's gone. I heard yelling, and then AJ's like, I got to go. Oh, that was good. But you know what I mean? I think this featherweight division needs some new blood. And there is new blood on the way. It's just not here yet. So in the meantime, this is a Volkanovski fight where I feel like it's kind of a legacy fight for him. He's beating one of the big names in the division, and that's it. It's just to kind of pad the record. So if you've got, $1 million, Drake or somebody, bet it on Volkanovski, because I think he's a dead lock on Saturday night. I think he wins
I don't know about
100%.
deadlock. He should win.
Well, look, yeah, he's got pretty. Look, if you want to use one word, you use Ortega. You look at Ortega, and you can say Volkanovski, exciting fight against Ortega. He manhandled Ortega. The difference is the Korean Zombie lost big time to Ortega. So that's the key thing that I'm looking at. There's no way that Volkanovski is going to lose, especially if you were able to beat a guy like Ortega, which I believe. Ortega did exactly what he was supposed to do against the Korean Zombie. He dismantled him. And that's what happened. And I agree with Dave, man. If you want to put some big money, I think this is the type of fight that Volkanovski will win easily. It's not going to go 5 rounds. I think it's going to be under 5 rounds that he's going to win this. I don't even think it's not going to a decision, Dave. I really feel that it's not going to a decision.
All right. Well, no matter how you slice it, I got Volkanovski winning. I think he wins. I think it's a lock. And if you've got $1 million, you can bet it over at bet99.com and get that million back plus $133,400. So why not, right?
Nice.
Why not?
And if you deposit $1 million at Bet99 using our code, they're going to give you an extra 600, which is like
Pretty
still
good.
interesting.
That's
even
pretty
though
nice,
you're-
man. What's $600? Listen, Freddie, it's $600 of free money, man.
Yeah, that's
Go
right.
for it. Take
That's
it.
right. And if you
Listen,
have,
you got to
millions-
use
It's $1 million
code
and
Ringside.
600.
There you go.
But you got to use code Ringside. Don't use any other codes.
I really think
Don't
he's
use
a lock.
GSP's code.
My buddy Jeremy Prophet, who's a great wrestler, goes by
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy Prophet or Black Dynamite. He always sends me his picks. He's one of the best wrestlers in Canada, and he's always sending me his picks. And he likes Korean Zombie. He thinks Zombie's got a good shot as an underdog. And I don't agree.
I mean, he does. Look,
But
the
I'm
only
just
thing that
saying,
he has-
I know people that think Zombie's got a good shot. I think he doesn't. I think he has no shot. And the odds makers are saying that too. Minus 750 Volkanovski, the favorite over at bet99.com. So,
Man, he hasn't lost since 2013. That's the difference, Volkanovski. I mean, this guy has everything, from the toughness, from being an elite rugby player. He's got everything, man. The guy is striking is amazing. His takedowns are so good. I mean, the Korean Zombie, his grappling is pretty good. But is it good enough to beat a guy like Volkanovski? I mean, I don't think so, man. And I agree
so.
with Prophet. Everybody has a chance. I mean, if they go toe-to-toe, anything can happen. I mean, he has a 3-inch reach. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 3 or 4-inch reach. But
The 3 main fights are pretty much like the odds are favoring one guy. And I'll tell you what, out of the 3 underdogs, I think Korean Zombie is the guy that has the best chance, man, because I don't expect much from Aljamain or from Gilbert Burns. So
wow.
I don't know. You tell me which one of those 3 has the best shot to pull an upset. I'm gonna go with Chan Sung Jung.
I would go with
Freddie's
Gilbert
good.
Burns. I would say of the
no,
three,
I
I
don't
would
think
go with Gilbert Burns. I think Khamzat is definitely going to win, but he's never faced anybody really to the level of Gilbert Burns. Like, Gilbert Burns is so far above the last guy that Khamzat fought. Like, it's a huge leap. And for him to be such a big favorite, it's kind of like, okay, I get it, but it is a gigantic leap in competition for him. Whereas I think Volkanovski, it's just like steps below what he's used to. You know? I don't know. We all have Volkanovski. I've got him by decision. Fred, you're going with Volkanovski by?
Decision. Chan Sung Jung's a tough guy, man. He's going to be there 5 rounds.
Angelo just went 3rd round submission for Volk. And AJ, you like a finish too, right?
Look, I like the finish, but I think the Korean Zombie is gonna lay it out. He's gonna try to go for the gold. I mean, like Freddie said, he's right about it. He says if anybody could pull off like an underdog win, it would be something like the Korean Zombie. The rest, I'm pretty confident who's gonna win. But the Korean Zombie could pull it off, man. This guy has done it before. But I think if I have to put down, I would put down a victory win by decision for Volkanovski.
When has he done it before?
I'm just saying that he's come back from behind.
A big upset over somebody that he should not have beat.
I'm not saying a big upset. Listen, he was losing in rounds. He came back, fought to win. I mean, the guy is a tough guy, man. You can't. He's durable. He's dangerous, man. He has all the tools necessary that if anybody could win, as a strong underdog, this is the guy. I kind of agree with Freddie. He could pull it off. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think he's going to win, though. I think he takes a good beating.
Yair Rodriguez knocked him out. Yair Rodriguez's last fight was a 5-round decision loss where he lost handily to Max Holloway. Holloway just, come on, get out of here, Like Holloway, Volkanovski, these guys are on Ortega, these guys are on a high level. And then there's everybody else. That's how I see the division. I really don't see the Zombie having a shot in hell. Volkanovski is my lock of the night, but we're going to parlay that and try to make some money for you on Saturday night. Aljamain Sterling and Piotr Yan. Okay, guys, I learned my lesson. See? I'm not a dumb guy because I could change my mind, right? Only dumb guys stick to one opinion and never change their mind, okay? You watch a fight, and you pick somebody, and then you see the fight, you see how it plays out, and you say, okay, the guy that I picked lost. This fight did not play out how I thought it would, so the next time around, you pick the other guy. And I'm telling you guys this. Hey AJ, I didn't even go there. But you went there. You went there. I was talking about Piotr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. I wasn't setting anything up, AJ. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, I tell you, I felt it, man. You're building it up, but you're right.
What are you talking about? What are you
talking about? Amanda.
Who?
Pena.
Oh, Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. Is that what you're talking about, AJ? I was talking about Piotr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. Because last time I picked Aljamain Sterling to win, and I felt like he got beat pretty bad in that fight until Piotr Yan delivered that stupid illegal knee to his face and got disqualified. And now here's the rematch finally between Yan and Sterling. Although, AJ, I guess you could take that lesson and apply it to your own life, and Freddie too. You guys both went against me and picked Amanda Nunes in the first Pena Nunes fight, and of course we all know how that went. Juliana won, and now you guys still picking Amanda. Maybe next time around when we do the preview for that, you'll
especially
you'll change
with
your mind.
everything Pena's saying this week, man. You read what she's saying? She's dissing Ronda Rousey. She's dissing Kayla Harrison. I mean, Juliana, man, a little bit of be humble, man. You got lucky, man. Let's be serious.
Be humble. Why does she have to be humble? Why does she have to be humble? She didn't get lucky. She just beat the greatest of all time.
No reason
She's
to go
sitting on top
Ronda
of the
like
mountain.
she went.
Why not? Go after Ronda. Try to
Ronda,
goad her out of retirement to make some big money, because this Amanda Nunes money ain't worth anything compared to what you get with Ronda Rousey. Get Ronda out of retirement. Get the big money. This is what MMA fighters are supposed to do. I love that Juliana's doing it. She's doing exactly what she's supposed to do as the queen of the division. Call everybody out. Tell everybody they suck. That's what Conor does. It worked for him. Call out Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey,
joke, Dave.
She is a joke. She is a joke.
How dare you?
She's a bully.
If it wasn't for Ronda, man, come on, man. Ronda helped the sport, man.
I
Respect
love
her,
Ronda,
man.
and I have a lot of respect for Ronda,
Yes.
but let's be honest. She won all her fights real easy. She faced adversity. She lost. She came back, spoke to no one, did no media, was all mean, lost again, and went away forever. Didn't change anything, didn't adjust, went away forever. And Juliana's saying, as a fighter, can't feel good, Ronda. Why don't you come back and try to fix that?
She took her WrestleMania loss better.
Well, I don't know about that. Didn't see her on Raw Monday night. See if we see her on SmackDown tomorrow. Don't know.
Listen, man, she's a UFC Hall of Famer, man. You can't go around and start talking. You could talk trash, but you can't talk to someone like Ronda. I mean, that's and even Kyla
you guys
Harrison,
are
man.
soft.
I'm surprised.
I don't think you guys would be saying this if it was a man. How about that?
I don't know, man.
I don't think
think
you
so.
guys are comfortable with women going out there and talking shit like that.
No, I am, but I just
All right, I don't mean it. I don't think that's true. But maybe there's a part. I don't know. I don't understand why you guys are mad at Juliana for talking shit about Ronda.
I don't get why she's going after Ronda.
Because
leave
Juliana,
Ronda alone,
I'll tell
man.
you why. Because she's always had beef with Ronda. She's doing this for Misha Tate because she was on Team Misha Tate. She was friends with Misha Tate, and she was on Misha's team on The Ultimate Fighter. And she didn't like Ronda, and she doesn't like Ronda, and she knows that Ronda's money, and she knows she can beat Ronda. So she's like, hey, after I beat Amanda, I'd like another big fight. How about Ronda? Because who else at 135 pounds in the UFC division is going to be a money fight for Juliana past Amanda? She did the impossible. She's going to do it twice. That'll be the biggest payday of her career, and it'll still be peanuts compared to what she could make in a fight against Ronda Rousey. So I think she's just being smart. She's got a limited window in the sport. Let her talk that shit, try and get a big fight, because after Amanda, you got jack shit. You have nothing as far as money-making fights. So come on. You got to set something up. She's just trying to be smart.
Do you think Ronda
make
would
money.
come back? Do you honestly think Ronda would come back? Like,
Ronda's got a fragile ego. If Juliana talks enough shit, she might fucking be tempted.
So then let's encourage it, man.
Ronda's fragile.
She'd be too scared.
Huh?
You think
Ronda's not coming back.
You think she's too scared? I think she's got a huge ego and she
too
thinks
scared
she
to have
could
another
win.
loss.
I think she thinks she could win.
You talk about her ego.
Yeah.
You talk about her ego. Like, I think Ronda couldn't handle another loss. She believed the hype of her being the baddest woman, about her being able to beat Floyd Mayweather and whatever.
She was the baddest up to a certain point, Freddie. Let's be honest, man. She was coming in and she was doing exactly what she was saying. She delivered,
but she didn't take the loss well.
No, Ronda was so good. Ronda was so good, and what disappoints me about Ronda is like, hey, if you left that Edmund guy and just went with a Henry Hooft or something like that, somebody who could really sharpen up your striking skills and you worked really hard. Yeah, somebody like that. If you did that, you would come out as a completely different fighter and you would be so goddamn dangerous because still, if the fight hits the mat, Ronda Rousey's deadly. Like, that was proven. Ronda Rousey, if it's on the ground, it's like Mackenzie Dern level death. She took out people with the armbar. Everybody knew it was coming, and she took you out with it anyways. So, if she could get striking down, imagine how good she'd be. You know what I mean? How did she lose her fights? Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes knocked her out on the feet. Well, if she was really good on the feet, we already know she's really good on the ground, she'd be unstoppable. But she never did the work, and she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to get out of her comfort zone or whatever. Maybe she didn't think she could. I don't know.
And you're right,
I think she
'cause
could.
last
I think
week-
she could have done it. I think she could. I still think she could come back and be great, but she's got to do the right things. It's disappointing.
Well, listen, Dave, I kind of agree with you because you're right. You said something last week's show, and you were talking about Cyril Gane, and Cyril Gane has everything on the plate to be a champion in the future, I'm pretty sure. But you did bring up the wrestling aspect. He needs to get himself into a wrestling elite school to improve that part of his
Tom
game.
Aspinall
And the same thing with Ronda. Man, you know what? Tom Aspinall is
Maybe.
unbelievable, but it's possible. But you know what? Like Cyril Gane is.
Gane train.
Oh.
I'm not at all. He fought well against Ngannou. He came down to the last round and he could have won it.
It was close.
Don't forget that, Freddie. It was that close. It was so close, man. Gane could have beat Ngannou in that last round, and if he would have had more of control in that last round, he was the champion. I still think Cyril Gane is the most dangerous fighter on that division. But I agree with what Dave said last week is that he needs to improve his wrestling, outside of Ngannou. But like I said, it was so close. If they fight again, I'm pretty sure Cyril could probably win it. He was being a little bit too cautious in the first couple of rounds. But if he would have did what he usually does, man, by throwing those kicks.
All right, we're not talking about Cyril Gane, though. The point was about wrestling and going somewhere else, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's important, man. You gotta improve your weakness. And Rousey, I agree with you. She needs to find a Muay Thai gym or a boxing gym to really improve her striking. And if she does, man, I think she could be like a force in the UFC again.
I agree.
I don't think she will.
I don't think she will either, but I think she could. And she might. It's possible.
Yeah, but she doesn't have the will to go to one of these gyms and get tested and all that. Like she had it easy. She went to the top pretty easy, and once it got rough, she got away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that happens. So Piotr Jan, he's gonna beat Aljamain Sterling, and
for sure.
Poor Piotr, man. He doesn't even have any coaches, man. Henry Cejudo said he would coach him, then he backed out. Sean O'Malley, the same thing. Like, I don't know who's going to be in the corner of Piotr, but he doesn't need anybody, man. He's going to beat Aljamain. He's going to dominate him. He's going to finish him this time. I got Piotr Jan winning TKO round 3.
He's got no coaches because they couldn't get out of Russia?
No, they didn't get visas into the United States.
Right.
Yeah. So
but how come
they couldn't get their visas?
How come Henry Cejudo doesn't want to coach him?
They were joking, man, and I think
then he backed out. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
but then he called him a potato face. He called Peter Yan a potato face. Peter Yan basically said, "Listen, I'll have you in my corner." I have no idea. A potato.
Sounds racist.
But he said, "Well, the thing is that Peter Yan said in a tweet, he says, "Yeah, you can corner me as long as you bring me the water bucket and ice and the stool, then you'll be okay." And then Cejudo tweeted back saying, "Listen, you know what? I'm not your water boy, and you know what? Go fight your own." Fight, whatever, potato face or something like that. But look,
so is he
you need a corner. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure he'll find
somebody, right?
I'm sure, man. There's a lot of Russians that are going to be at this fight. I'm sure he'll find someone to corner him.
Okay. So the last fight was going his way, and then Yan throws that illegal knee, disqualification, and unlike pro wrestling, titles can change by disqualification for some reason. Ridiculous, but, whatever. Stupid-ass UFC rules. You can't win a title by DQ. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's the first fight in history. That's the first fight in UFC history that's been won by disqualification.
I had often wondered what would happen, because I was like, well, I know in wrestling you can't win by DQ, but can title change in UFC?
You shouldn't be able to defend a title by getting DQ'd either. So,
I think that'd be great. I think that'd be fantastic if that was a rule in MMA. It's like champions come in,
coach just throws a foreign object in.
Yeah. You just kick a guy in the balls as soon as the fight starts, and you're like, I did that shit on purpose. You're like, disqualified, and you're like, yeah, well, I'm still champion. I don't care.
Champ for life.
Yeah. So I figured the title would change, and turns out it did. And Aljamain Sterling was a champion, but nobody really believes that. And Aljamain had neck surgery, and in the meantime, Yan fought
shoulder.
I thought it was neck and shoulder. Didn't he have a bunch of different? I don't know. He was all messed
up. It could have been, but
And then he came back, Yan did, in his next fight, beat Corey Sandhagen. Aljamain Sterling has not fought since March 2021. In that Peter Yan fight, like I said, dealing with some injuries. And now he's back. And Aljamain is
looking
a pretty...
great physically.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid underdog, plus 350. Yan minus 500, the favorite. He's always in good shape, Aljamain Sterling. I don't know, man. That last fight seemed to be going Yan's way. We're only about a year removed from it. I don't see it going another way this time. I'm going with Petr Yan.
But if you look at significant strikes in that fight, Sterling actually threw more. He had like 90 significant strikes over Peter, who had 86. So the thing is that even though he lost with that illegal knee, when it came to the strike count, Sterling was up. Again, I think Sterling played it, man, because he didn't lose consciousness. He looked like he was okay to continue the fight. He kind of knew that by staying down, he was going to win that fight, and I think his coaches were throwing him like orders to stay down because they knew that that's what was going to happen. Regardless of the significant strike count, I think Petr Yan was definitely winning that fight. It was just a stupid move that I don't know what made him do what he did, but it won't happen again. I think Petr Yan is a pretty solid lock to win this fight. I don't think with a shoulder injury, or if he had also neck injury, I know that it was shoulder injury. I mean, man, that doesn't help when you're coming back from not fighting in over, a year and something. It's going to be hard, man. Petr Yan's been looking forward to this fight, and he wants to make a statement, and he's pretty bitter about the loss. So I think this is going to be a hard fight for Sterling, and I agree with Freddie on this. I think he's going to get knocked out or there's going to be a TKO, but there's going to be a stoppage. I think Petr Yan is going to maul this guy.
All right, I'm going with Petr Yan by decision. I think it goes the distance. It was, when did it stop in the last time? It was fourth round? Late in the fourth round, too.
Fourth round, yeah. It was the fourth round.
I think this one goes the distance, too. I think Yan wins, but he wins by decision.
Yeah, but if that knee didn't come up, that guy was so exhausted that Petr Yan it was gonna be a stoppage very shortly. It was not gonna end in the fifth in decision in the last fight. I don't think he has what it takes, to go the distance, Dave. I really don't. I think he's gonna be more gassed in this fight than he was in the last one.
Fred, how do you see the finish? How do you see Yan winning?
Petr Yan dominating, man. He's on a mission, man, and he's gonna be even more dominating this fight. So I think he's gonna overwhelm him and get a TKO.
Wow. All right, then. Well, I hope so. I want to see some finishes here. I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to finish Gilbert Burns because Khamzat is finishing everybody, and I think he's going to be able to do it to Gilbert Burns. And if he can, I mean, it's a big step up in competition for him over Li Jinglang, now fighting Gilbert Burns, who's a former title challenger, but Gilbert Burns has been knocked out a couple of times in his career, and Khamzat Chimaev has all the skills and all the ability, and he's been knocking people out and choking people out left and right, undefeated, finishing everybody, smoking through his UFC competition. There's a reason why people are thinking this could be the next champion of the world at 170 pounds, and it's pretty crazy to say when the 170-pound champion is probably the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world today, Kamaru Usman. So the fact that people have such high hopes with Khamzat shows you how good of a talent this guy is, just 27 years old, fighting out of Sweden from Chechnya, Russia. Here we go. It's the Khamzat show. If he can win here, guys, you got to give him Usman. You got to.
Look, Dave, I'm going to tell you something. It's a great time for Khamzat to win because if you look globally, the UFC is so much more popular today than it ever was. Like, the ratings are up. Like, the exposure globally is there. So a guy like Khamzat winning, I mean, it only brings out his star power more than ever, man. It's incredible. The UFC, man, is just flying off the shelf with people wanting to watch. And the thing is this, is that when we were talking last week, I was throwing out a stat. I don't know if you looked into it. But out of 4 fights that Khamzat's had, he's only been hit once. He's only had 1 strike to the face. That's how good this guy is. He can elude everything, man. He's a real ninja, man. This guy can move like crazy. No one can touch him. Out of 4 fights, mind you, they didn't go past like the first. I think there was only one that went to the second. one punch. That's ridiculous. That's a historical stat right there in itself. The only thing that I can see is that Gilbert Burns is a beast. You know, when he fought Usman, man, you could show his power behind like that fight. This guy has everything. He's a world-class, world champion jiu-jitsu fighter, solid like a rock. But there was something that I was saying to you guys earlier today that I saw. I saw a video of Burns and Khamzat meeting in the hallway of a hotel. They were both like in towels, like they were shirtless. And I saw something and it stamped. And I'm telling you, Freddie, I look at everything, man. And just this action that happened sealed the deal for me. I knew Khamzat was going to win, but just the fact that when they met and they shook hands, Khamzat just towers Gilbert. And not only does he tower him, but he was like, there was a presence about him over Gilbert that Gilbert looked intimidated. And I'm telling you, I noticed that. If you look at the video footage, you can see it where the guy, Khamzat already said it that Burns is scared of him. That video there, they were very, they were cordial. There was nothing. There was no smack talk or anything. But the shake of hands was enough for me to say, man, Khamzat showed him the strength in that shake. We're going to see each other Saturday. And it sealed the deal for me. I looked at that, and I know Khamzat's winning. There's no doubt about it. And this guy's going to be a star power as of Saturday night, more than he is now.
Well, when I saw that video, I do agree. Khamzat looks taller, more imposing than Gilbert. Gilbert is still like pretty beefed up, but he's a shorter stature. So yeah, I think Khamzat's going to be a little bit bigger and probably be able to impose himself. I don't agree that Gilbert looks scared. I think Gilbert looks cool, man. He's taking his fight. He's not talking too much, and he's gonna be a tough challenger. But especially because Khamzat, if you like, yeah, he's very impressive, but he hasn't defeated anybody that's worth anything. So that's maybe the only thing that scares me a little bit. But I expect Khamzat to muscle his way through Gilbert, being so strong that Gilbert won't be able to submit him or anything. Good wrestling base and very powerful. So I got Khamzat winning Saturday. I feel pretty confident on that one.
I agree with Freddie on this. There's no doubt about it. Like the four fights that he's had, these guys weren't on the top 10. But then again, you look at like he KO'd Gerald Meerschaert, who's a veteran, who's had many fights in the UFC. But this guy, he got KO'd. So for sure, they're not on the top 10. But I'm telling you, we're just seeing the beginning of Khamzat, man. This is just the beginning. And he's going to go through everybody. I can assure you. He's going to go through everybody.
Yeah, he's going to be on my parlay for sure. Khamzat Chimaev looks like he could be a future champion. Him and Usman is going to be real interesting, guys. Like, man, that's the fight.
It's inevitable, man.
If he can get through Gilbert Burns like he's been getting through everybody, and we think that he can he do that to Kamaru Usman? And if he can, at 27 years old, like, holy shit. He'll be a double champion. He'll be able to do that to Israel Adesanya.
And think about it, Dave. Think about something. Khamzat went up in weight. Gilbert Burns went down in weight. So that's the difference, man. Like, this Khamzat is a very powerful guy, man. Like, it's sick.
I think you flip-flopped that.
Yeah. Gilbert Burns used to be a 55er. Now he's 170.
Oh.
Khamzat has fought at 185. Now he's fighting at 170. But it's okay, AJ. We understood what you meant.
Khamzat's a big welterweight. Gilbert is probably a normal size welterweight.
Right. Yeah. Yes, small. And what I'm saying is, if Khamzat Chimaev can run through Gilbert Burns, and if he can do that, maybe he can run through Kamaru Usman. And if he can do that, then maybe he could run through Israel Adesanya and be a dominant double champion at middleweight and welterweight, defending in both divisions and smashing everybody. Like, this is the thing with this guy. Sky is the limit. How good is he? I'm looking forward to finding out on Saturday. How good is he? I think he's pretty damn good. So, and if he could beat Gilbert Burns like he's beat everybody else, like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? It's going to be really impressive. This guy is...
Look, man,
he's
and that's
exciting.
the thing.
He's exciting because you're watching him and you're like, okay, how good is he? How good is he? And then you're watching and you're like, okay, well, maybe he's the greatest we've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like, maybe. I'm not saying he is, but it's possible. Like, a lot of these fighters are good. Oh, I wouldn't call any of them like possibly the greatest fighter I've ever seen. Khamzat Chimaev is possibly the greatest fighter we've ever seen, but he just hasn't proven it yet. But he's got a lot of the signs of one of the all-time greats, right? He's
Absolutely,
got the signals
man.
of like, oh, okay, maybe.
Look, man, he's compared to Khabib, and that's huge. And the thing is that what Khabib didn't have is 2 weight divisions, 2 titles. If that happens, man, this guy is there.
Yeah,
His wrestling style is very similar to Khabib, man. It's crazy.
And he's got striking, and he's got power,
and he's striking.
And he's
man,
durable.
This guy's
interesting.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
His kickboxing is like top elite level, man. It's like he has everything that you see a superstar needs to have. He's everything, man. He's got, man. We'll see if he could beat Burns. Yeah, I mean, anything could happen.
AJ's gushing now. He's going to be gushing at the next fight. Let's run through some of these other fights on this card. Mackenzie Dern taking on Tisha Torres. I know where AJ's going. He loves Mackenzie Dern. He's in love with Mackenzie Dern, and he's picking her to win. I'm picking her to win as well. I've got Mackenzie Dern by submission. I think her jiu-jitsu will take her to victory. I think she gets a submission in the first or second round. I think she does it quickly. Tisha Torres is very tough. And has only been tapped out once in her career. Or maybe, no, never actually. She's actually never been finished. She's won once by submission. Tisha Torres is mostly a stand-up fighter. And I feel like, Mackenzie will be able to stand up with her for a bit, but she's going to score a takedown, and when she does, it's over. Angelo Contagonis going with Piotr Yan by unanimous decision, by the way. Thank you, Angelo, for the super chat. Doug Hepburn is a super chat leader tonight. Thank you, Doug. Go ahead, Fred.
AJ, I want to absolutely not apologize because I'm taking Tisha Torres, man.
Oh.
She's going to cause not an upset because, they're pretty much even on the odds. But this fight is going to stay standing up. Tisha is very athletic. She's going to find a way to keep it on the feet and win against Mackenzie.
And Freddie,
TKO.
Freddie, you got a point. You got a point there, man, because the only thing that concerns me with Mackenzie is her takedown accuracy. She only has a 10% takedown accuracy to her name, which is terrible because when it comes to submission, Tisha's not going to submit Mackenzie Dern. But if it gets to the ground, Mackenzie can. The problem is she needs to get down to the ground. Tisha Torres has great wrestling. And if she keeps it standing, yeah, she's got an opportunity. But you know what? People, talk about Mackenzie. Her striking has gotten so much better. We saw her in her last fight where I think she overloaded it with her striking where she should have concentrated more on the grappling. But that's the thing. If Tisha can stop Mackenzie's attempts, because her takedown defense is so weak, and that's what I kept saying. She needs to go to a good wrestling elite school to improve it, because 10% is horrible for one of the best jiu-jitsu grapplers in the world.
She is coming off a loss to Marina Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Will she be able to pull this one off? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So are you going
George,
are you going with Tisha Torres too, AJ?
No, I'm actually going to go with Mackenzie Dern on this. I think she made a mistake in her last fight where I don't know what she wanted to prove. I think she was trying to prove more to the MMA world that she can strike. But like George always says, stick to what you do best. You know what I'm saying? You can strike and you can strike. But when it comes time to take someone down, that's your bread and butter. You do that. That's how you win. Don't care what the crowd wants. You do what's necessary for a win. That's it. She's going to win by submission.
Tisha Torres has good takedown defense, though.
That's what I'm saying. She does.
She's very athletic also.
Yeah.
She's going to be hard to bring to the ground.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder about this fight. I don't know. Mackenzie could win, but like if she takes her down, okay, but she might not be able to take her down. And then if she can't, can she win a striking fight with Tisha Torres? I don't know. Tisha Torres might be the pick here. I don't know, guys. This is tough. This is a tough fight to pick. No wonder. Mackenzie Dern minus 119 the favorite. Tisha Torres minus 105. Slight underdog, but basically a pick 'em. Tough one.
It's a pick 'em, But if I had
wouldn't
to
bet
pick
on
him,
it. I'm not betting on it. I'll tell you that much. I was going to put Mackenzie Dern in my parlay, but Fred convinced me otherwise. I'm taking her out of my parlay because Tisha Torres has good takedown defense, and Mackenzie, I forgot about that Marina Rodriguez fight too. I was like, oh yeah, that fight was awful. She really looked bad there. And if she's going to have that fight with Marina Rodriguez, well, she's not going to play her game here either because she can't. If she can't take her down, it's over. So I'm going to go with Tisha Torres, I think. I'm flipping my pick. I'm going with Torres by decision. Sorry, AJ.
Don't forget, Dern has never lost by stoppage. So just to let you throw,
I know.
That.
That's why I'm going with Torres by decision, not stoppage. Decision, because she's not going to be able to land enough punches on the feet. Tisha Torres will land more punches. Mackenzie will attempt takedowns. Tisha will defend takedowns, and then Tisha will win on points. That's how I see the fight playing out. I think Fred's right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry, AJ, but I can't go with her. And then we have the undefeated Mark Madsen. Undefeated from Denmark. This guy is some sort of Greco-Roman superstar. He went to the Olympics. He won a silver medal in the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games. 11-0 in the UFC. Got a split decision win over Clay Guida in his last fight. And now he's fighting Vince Pichel on the main card here to open up the pay-per-view. Pichel, the favorite, minus 129. Madsen, plus 105. I think there's value in Madsen there, plus 105. I don't know. I never heard of this Madsen guy.
Should be a good fight. He has a nice little record and all, but hasn't really been tested, I feel, maybe. So, and Ving Pichel, he's a fun fighter, man. I like Ving Pichel. I'm going to go with Pichel to win that fight. Madsen, if Pichel could stay away from getting taken down and controlled, I feel he's going to win this fight.
All right.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. I saw that fight with Clay Guida. That was, ridiculous, man. But when you got a Greco-Roman wrestler coming up, Vince Pichel, man, he's impressive and whatnot, but this Mark Madsen, man, I think is going to be too much for him. So I'm going to go with Mark on this one. It's going to be 12-0. And remember, they were supposed to fight back in February, so that got canceled, and here they are doing it again. So they had a lot more time to study the tapes and train with similar type of fighters in their training camp. So I'm going to give it to Madsen on this.
All right, then. How about some other fights?
Mind you, he's 37 years old,
card?
eh?
Huh?
Don't forget, Dave, he's 37 years old as well. Eh? He's not a young spring chicken.
Well, I could give you my parlay with two other fights that we haven't mentioned, man. My parlay is Tisha Torres. I'm going to take a chance on Alexei Oleinik. And I'm going to also go with Marcin Tybura to cause a surprise and beat Jairzinho. So that's my parlay.
You think Tybura beats Jairzinho? Hold on, Fred. I had to get a child out of the studio here. Give me your parlay.
I had
again.
one before, man. Freaking
I got
hell.
Tisha Torres,
Yeah.
Alexei Oleinik, and Marcin Tybura.
Tybura. Why do you think Tybura is going to win? I think Jairzinho wins that fight.
I'm just not convinced on Jairzinho completely, man. He had a couple of nice wins here and there, but I'm not sure he's that elite.
Here it is, the Fred Parlay, the Team Fred Parlay. He's got Tisha Torres, minus 105, Marcin Tybura, plus 128, and Alexei Oleinik, minus 109. $20 over at Bet99 gets you 172.31. Pretty good. Team Fred, Tybura, Torres, Oleinik. Pretty simple. Keeping it simple. AJ, what you got for me?
Well, I gave my picks last week, Freddie, on the prelims. I gave just a prelim pick, and I went with Jairzinho on that. But the guy that I'm surprised you overlook is this superstar in the making, Ian Gary, man. This kid is unbelievable. This is the next future star. He's going to be part of the Bryce Mitchell gang and all that kind of stuff. Ian Gary from Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. Holy smokes. This guy here is unbelievable, and he's a solid lock. So if you're going to go with my prelims picks of last week, I went with Ian Gary. I went with Jairzinho.
I just want your parlay for now. I don't want.
You want my main parlay?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a sec.
Well,
hold on a
whatever.
sec
I don't
here.
know. You're giving me picks for every fight on the card as a parlay that people could bet on, and it's just nonsense. Just give me your best
No,
parlay.
no, no. I'm
Give
talking
me
about
your
last week's
best
parlay.
I know, but
Yeah.
it was just a lot of just give me your best parlay for UFC 273. Your best
Dave.
picks that you want people to bet on for this goddamn pay-per-view.
I gave it to you last week, the prelim
You
ones. Let me
didn't.
give you the main card.
You gave me picks
Yes,
for
I
every
did.
prelim card that nobody's going to bet on because it's nonsense.
Well, here we go. So start it off. We're going to start off with Volkanovski with the win. We're going to go with Peter Yan. We're going to go with Kamzat. I'm not going to back down on Mackenzie because I think she's going to submit this one. Tisha's going down. I'm going to go with Mark Madsen. Then I'm going to go with the prelim. I'm going to start my card with Ian Gary for the win.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it for now. I mean, like, there's some really good ones, like Raquel Pennington, like, probably smash Aspen. I mean, but
Oh, you think so, eh? I don't know about that.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, so Ian
All
Gary's
right.
the last.
There's Volkanovski, Peter Yan, Khamzat Chimaev, Mackenzie Dern, Mark Madsen, and Ian Gary. $20 gets you $155.32 over at Bet99.com. It's the AJ parlay. Gary, Madsen, Dern, Chimaev, Yan, and Volkanovski. I guess I have to make
Nice.
a parlay now, too, right?
That's a pretty good, like, payout.
Pretty good. I don't really have one. I don't know. I got nothing.
Come
No
on,
parlay for
Dave. Don't be
No.
like that.
No Team
What?
Dave parlay this week. Fuck you, AJ.
What the hell is going on?
Fucking
I mean,
AJ.
Just give a lock.
Like,
I don't know.
like that counts as a loss. Like Cal
Yeah.
Ripken always showed up, even when he was hurt or whatever, man. Like
Okay.
you're just backing
Exactly.
out, man. That's
All right, I'll give you one.
George never backed out of a fight.
I'll give you one. What do
Because
we
Dave
have?
doesn't want to lose on this card, man. He's been on a hot streak.
Yeah, I've been doing well. I don't want to lose. And a lot of these fights, they're tough to call. This is not a great card for betting. I don't love this
put all
card.
your money on Mickey Gall.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Nah. Ian Gary, listen, I'm telling you, if you have to put like just one lump sum on someone, put it on that Ian Gary guy, man. This guy he's something.
I'll tell you what, I'm going with. We're going to go with the obvious picks here. We're going to go with Volkanovski. We're going to go with Khamzat. And we're going to go with Piotr Yan. I think those guys are all locks to win. But if you bet $20 on those guys as a parlay, you only win $32.40. It's kind of a shitty parlay, right? So I'm trying to come up with another fight to add on this parlay to make it a little juicier. And a lot of these fights are tough to call. I'm thinking about Alexei Oleinik. I'm thinking about Jairzinho.
Man, Olenek it's a tough one, man, because that guy that he's fighting is super young. I mean, this is his 70th fight, if I'm not mistaken. 70 fights, man. No, a 77th fight. Not if he wins, it'll be a 70th win.
Yeah.
This is his 77th fight, man. How much wear and tear can a man take?
Okay, you know
I
what
don't think it's going to go good.
Here's what I'm going to do to make it real juicy. I'm going to give you something.
Make it juicy, man.
Here we go. Here's a Team Dave parlay. We're going with Volkanovski, Piotr Yan, Khamzat Chimaev, and Aspen motherfucking Lad plus 150 the underdog
Dave.
over Raquel Pennington.
Man.
$20 gets you 81 over at bet99.com. Aspen
like
Ladd
that
is
one.
going to get that fight. I don't know why you're so behind Raquel Pennington. I think Aspen Ladd is a great value underdog pick on this card. Great value. She's tough. She's on the come up. Raquel Pennington is on her way down. Aspen Ladd gets some takedowns, outstrikes Pennington. I think she beats her everywhere. I go with Aspen Ladd. That's a Team Dave parlay. Volkanovski, Yan, Khamzat, and Lad. All right, AJ? I don't know why you're so mad about that. Why are you so mad? Why are you
I thought
mad?
you were going to give me something. I don't know. I thought you were going to go with, I don't know. It's okay. I'm not confident on that fight, man. Not at all for Aspen.
No, that's funny because you didn't put Pennington in your parlay. Like, you're really going hard on
No,
my...
I did. No, I listen. No. If you recall the pick,
well,
if you recall the picks last
for
week,
your parlay for tonight. I'm not asking for your last week fucking fill time bullshit parlay. I'm asking for your real deal UFC 273 parlay. You didn't put Pennington in there. So
I put her on my parlay. I gave two parlays last. I gave the prelim parlay last week, which I put Pennington on that, and it was a good payout. I think. I don't have much confidence in that one as like your start of your parlay. But anyways, like anything can happen, dude. How much does it pay out in your parlay again?
$81 for 20. It's money. Money in your pocket. I did.
Yeah, it ain't bad.
Sorry. All right. I gotta go. Show's over.
That's it, man. It's done.
It's goddamn over.
That's it, man.
Yeah, I'm out of patience.
Soda's on their way.
Yeah, I don't know. Not yet, but it's just, it's been a day. It's been been a week. I'm just fucking... All right?
COVID all over the place, man.
You know what
can't
helps?
go anywhere, man.
Jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah, I know.
It does, man. Except my finger got snapped. But
I'm coming
man, you
soon,
need to
Fred.
exercise it.
I'm coming soon. It's happening. You're gonna get. I know you're having a rough time of it. There's some guys there that may be beating you up a little bit, but don't worry, Fred. Soon you'll have me to beat up. Soon you just get to beat me up. You'll get some easy rounds, Fred. I'll come in. I'll be like, yep. You just kick my ass, and I'll be like, oh, Fred.
Super chat.
And Dave, listen, man, you're within walking distance, man. You could be just walking over and do jiu-jitsu. It's ridiculous.
It's just the problem is my ankle's been kind of fucked up for a few weeks, and walking has been hard. So jiu-jitsu has been kind of like, maybe not getting into a jiu-jitsu fight too much because my ankle's been kind of not so good for walking and such. But now it's getting better, so I'm almost. We're ready. All right, we're getting there. Okay,
BJJ, man, all the way.
Yeah. All right, Angelo dropping a super chat. Thank you, Angelo. And with that, you are the super chat leader of the night. Oh, it's almost like he knew. All right then.
Hey, sneaky, Angelo. Eh?
I'll be back tomorrow night, probably with Johnny North after SmackDown. Right? And I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. And then Saturday night, UFC 273, we're going to do a watch-along of the fights. AJ's going to be here sitting with me. Fred will be over there, and,
Now bring some KFC, man.
We'll watch fights. Yeah, bring some KFC.
For the UFC, man.
Sounds great. Might go get KFC tomorrow. That sounds delicious.
No, don't do it. I'll bring it Saturday, man. Don't do it.
I would love some fried chicken. Because I know you're not really going to bring KFC on Saturday, so I'm going to
bring some. When AJ promises, he delivers, man. You know that. I'm going to bring KFC, man. I'll come early. I'll come for the prelims.
50%. Oh, which prelims? You're going to come at 8 o'clock?
Well, why not, man?
That's a long night. We're on for a long I don't know. I'm tired.
Too much AJ.
It's not too much AJ. It's just too much, stimulation for me. I'd have to talk for too long. You know what I mean? Like, AJ talks to you. You got to respond. You got to say words back to AJ. And I just don't have the energy to talk for more than 3 hours at a time. I just get tired. It's just, tough times, guys. All right. I'll be back tomorrow with Johnny.
Mojo Rising.
Mojo Rowley. We miss him. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. with Johnny for the SmackDown talk. And then Saturday night, we'll do a watch-along, probably, for UFC 273.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/